Water vapor satellite is making it quite obvious that we have a disturbance moving into the Caribbean right now, pushing past the Lesser Antilles and now moving towards our Greater Antilles, our islands of focus for us here over the next few days. And as you can see on the Sunday morning Atlantic satellite view, some activity is really picking up for us here. NOAA satellites confirmed winds of 35 to 40 miles per hour earlier within this invest, which is 90L, meaning a depression or storm will likely form. There is a system right there pushing out of the Lesser Antilles and now entering the Caribbean. I've got the information on that as development is very likely. So let's start out right here. A depression or storm will likely initialize by this point. This is Monday afternoon. This will be a very rainy day for Puerto Rico, so in places like say San Juan, we'll be seeing a lot of that rain, and also some larger waves on the southern side of the island for us. They're pushing on in as those bands move in from the east and southeast. By Tuesday, a slightly stronger storm will be pushing rain bands into Haiti and the Dominican Republic. This is going to be, especially for the Dominican Republic, this is going to be a very intense storm. But rather than continuing to push west into the Caribbean, what's interesting about this Invest 90L, soon to be tropical depression, and then eventually probably tropical storm Frank for us here. This system, Franklin I should say, this system will be pushing on off towards kind of the north once it makes it to this point, as opposed off towards the west, and I'll show you why in a minute. As we go towards Wednesday, this will bring even heavier rain over Haiti and the Dominican Republic. This is when your flash flood risk is really going to begin to increase for us here as these heavy rain totals get spouted out. How heavy will this rain be? A quick 2 to 4 inches of rain could fall in a 12-hour period, definitely making this a dangerous situation. And with elevation added in, this will make it even more extreme. What elevation you might want to know? The very tall mountains that we have going on right here into portions of Dominican Republic, the ones that really separate it from Haiti for us there. These mountainous regions will support floods and the landslides, of course, as that moisture really falls on top of the mountains as it banks up against them, and then that runoff goes right on down the mountain and into, the valley locations. So if you live in a valley and you're in a landslide prone area, please try to get out or be ready and listen to local officials. The system will likely emerge over the Atlantic slowly as we go into our Thursday, so this will be pushing on off towards the north and kind of northeast for us here. So let's get a look at our tide scale force here, starting off with the T, I, and D. What are those? Type. This is going to be a tropical flood threat for you there in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Intensity of the system, it's going to be high for flooding. And in terms of duration, all week with the peak Wednesday. So really this is going to add up to make for a pretty moderate to high impact system for us here for the Dominican Republic, because this is really just going to last for several days. In a place like Port-au-Prince, Haiti for us, type of system, again, this is a tropical flood threat. We're looking at intensity that is medium for flooding, and the duration of the system, it's likely more to last there starting late Monday, but really on Tuesday through Thursday. That's going to be the best chance for some of these flooding showers and very heavy rainfall chances to move right overhead. So here's the explanation. A cold front that you can see on your screen there progressing into the Atlantic. This is one of those that kind of slid over the heat dome over the midwestern United States. It will cause a weak tropical storm, this one, Tropical Storm Franklin, to linger, and it will kind of slowly move and produce heavy rain over Haiti and the Dominican Republic. This is where problems are going to arise. Flooding, landslides, rain totals in excess of 4-8 inches of rain, and that is really where our biggest problem is going to occur. Now, in terms of other hazards, waves up to 10 to 15 feet high will slam into the southern coast off of the Dominican Republic. This is going to be a major concern for anybody who lives in those areas on the southern shoreline, because we'll certainly see some coastal erosion. Some of the heavy rainfall pushing right on in along with that is just going to add 2 water hazards to this as opposed to just one with the rain. This is a significant situation, and when you pair gusty winds up with that, we're going to see trees come down. We're going to see some storm surge pushing on into some of those coastal communities, so be ready. In a place like Haiti, we might get a few inches of rain out of this. The European model wants to say more, but in those yellow areas, this is where both models agree the rain will be very heavy, pushing into especially the southern coast of the Dominican Republic. We could get several inches of rain, maybe even up to a foot against those mountains there. We're also watching heavy rain to enter the Gulf and move towards Texas for us here. You can see that 60% chance of development there. A weak tropical depression or tropical storm is expected. I'm not expecting much in the way of wind impacts out of this. Brief heavy rain and flooding will be the primary threats there along the Texas coastline. So let's start playing things out for you. You can see the tropical entity down there at the bottom of your screen. I'm kind of giving you a bigger look at the Atlantic. So overall, that's the system we're watching right now, but you can see more tropical waves entering on the the right side of your screen. But I'm going to circle the 2 entities here. One right there sitting over the islands. Again, that's going to be Franklin. Kind of the remnants of that new tropical system developing towards the Gulf, and what's left over from our tropical depressions and storms coming on off from the Africa direction. Those will also be pushing around the high pressure ridge. Notice what the models have with this, just kind of, Franklin's just going to be really sitting around right here over portions of the southern and western Atlantic, and then eventually it's going to push on off towards the north due to a cold front moving in from the west that's going to finally sweep it up, and you can see how that really increases speed. And some of the models are indicating that we could see some brief impacts touch the northeast coast of the United States and move into Newfoundland, so we'll keep an eye on that. But for now, like, subscribe, comment, I'll put the link for Google Maps in the description, everyone. Thanks so much for watching.